My name is Michelle Zahner, and I'm the author of Crying in H Mart. I also play in a band called Japanese Breakfast. I was born in Seoul, but I was a year old when I immigrated to the US with my parents. My mother is Korean and my father is American, and so I grew up very much between two cultures. I am now living in Seoul for 1 year, studying the language and writing my second book. My book is about my relationship with my mother, who was a Korean woman who was born and raised in Seoul. And I guess it's a story about a lot of our cultural differences and conflicts and early tumultuous but very loving, passionate relationship. And in May of 2014, she was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, and I moved to my hometown of Eugene, Oregon for 6 months to live as her caretaker. And unfortunately, she passed away, and in the wake of her loss, I learned how to cook Korean dishes as a way of sort of preserving and resuscitating her memory in a sense. I'm not sure why it's resonated with so many people. I'm certainly very pleased that it has, but I think I believe it's a really universal story about mothers and daughters. I think it's a really universal story in that sense, and it's written in a very sort of plain-spoken language that feels kind of like, I hope, a friend telling you a story. And I think maybe that's why it's received so much love in other countries as well. I think that there are many reasons why Korean food came to play such an important role both in my life and in this story. Many of those reasons I think I didn't realize until the process of writing this book. Feeling that Asian maternal affection is often expressed not through words but through gestures of service. And for my mother, I know a lot of the way that she expressed affection and care was in the meals that she prepared for me, and I really grew up with a love of Korean food, and it was something that the two of us, despite being very different people, really shared a love for. After she died, there were a few reasons I think I learned how to make Korean food. One was I was afraid that after she died I would lose my connection to my culture and a connection to that part of my identity, and so it felt really important to learn how to preserve. I think it was also for a long time I couldn't remember my mother before she was sick. When we spoke earlier, I talked to you about going to H Mart for the first time and finding a can of pot. And for the first time when I saw that can of pot, I remembered my mother with long hair in a summer dress grinding ice for patbingsu. And it was one of the first really beautiful, happy memories I had before she got sick. And so that was a big reason why I started going to H Mart very frequently. Just like an ancient practice. And it was a very therapeutic, very long practice, very meditative and tactile practice. And learning to do that was very enjoyable and very healing part of my journey.